Hello everyone, so excited to see all of you again. We are down to the last weekend of Indian Heritage Centre's CultureFest 2020, and in the past 2 weeks you guys have watched me learn more about Indian culture and heritage through various performances and workshops, and even by going on a trail. And as you know, this year's festival is based on a classic Indian epic, and so with that, today we have a special guest who is going to take us on an epic culinary narrative based on the Ramayana. Hello, Mrs. Indra!
How do you do?
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having me on this program.
Lovely to meet you too.
Thank you.
For those of you that don't know, Mrs. Indra Iswaran's professionally is very diverse. Okay, she wears many hats, and one of that is being an excellent cook. So I am very excited today to taste the cooking. Like, I was waiting for this. I see all the ingredients already. I'm salivating. I can't wait. But before we get to the cooking, Indra, can you tell us, okay, in 3 ways best possible to just summarize Jaffna cuisine?
Jaffna cuisine is actually found, they think it's only in Jaffna, but no. We have a lot of influences that has come into Jaffna cuisine. And we also have the multi influences that come from the colonial side of it. And when we came across to Malaya, we brought it here with us. And we have some of the Malay influences, which I'll later tell you about. But what is interesting is the type of spices and the herbs that we use. Right? And those are unique to us, particularly the chili which we grow. And the most important is the cinnamon, which is most famous in Ceylon or Sri Lanka.
They call it the Ceylon cinnamon, right?
Yes, and that's called that's the real cinnamon. The other one's the pretend cinnamon.
That's the cassia,
yes,
cassia bark.
that's the pretend. So these are the important things, and plus Ceylon cuisine or Jaffna cuisine, I must say, we use a lot of coconut milk.
Right, okay.
The Sinhalese use the coconut milk as well, but we use more chili, they use more pepper. That is the difference between. So we brought all this with us here to Singapore.
Wow, very interesting. For those of you joining us live on our social media channels, thank you so much for joining us. Today we have Mrs. Indra Iswaran with us, taking us on an epic culinary journey, and I can't wait to start. So today you are going to be cooking 4 different dishes.
Correct.
What was the inspiration to choose these dishes in particular?
Simply because they're very traditional dishes, which are very typical of Jaffna, and hence that is why I wanted to showcase these 4 dishes.
Okay, so they're highlights of Jaffna cuisine.
Absolutely.
Okay, without much ado, no more talking already. Let's get down to the cooking. What are we going to be making first?
Okay, I'm going to be making the chicken Porial first, the one with the sandalwood, which is very rare, and that is a very royal dish. Because in the royal palace, the kitchens, they use sandalwood to, apart from cinnamon bark, they use sandalwood to make the dish fragrant. And chicken quite often had that. What I would put into my pan first is the coconut oil. As I told you, coconut oil is very much a part of the Ceylon cooking or Jaffna cooking, and that had gone out of fashion for some reason at some stage. You know, but it's come back again, which is great. So I'm also adding a little bit of ghee because it gives a nice finish to the.
What is Indian food without ghee?
Yeah,
Yum.
absolutely. And you know, we make our own ghee because we had our own cows, and we used to make our own ghee, and we had our own yogurt, and we had our own more and things like that, you know, buttermilk and stuff like that. Okay, the first thing I'm going to add to this are the whole spices, whole spices.
Okay.
And that's cardamom.
Cardamom.
And a little bit of fennel. And a little bit of cloves. All this gives the fragrance to
my God.
And some anise, star anise.
Okay.
And I am going to add 1 or 2 pieces of, I'm sorry, it's getting angry with
on my thighs.
you.
But it's okay, I'm used to
1
this.
or 2. And I'm going to use one piece here at the moment. Yeah, that's spluttering. That's what you call spluttering. That's what you call spluttering. So, oops.
Wow, this is very exciting spluttering.
Okay, now let me just put these in.
Okay.
But if you notice, I've got serai and pandan in here, which is something that has been influenced when our Jaffna Tamils came into this part of the world, into the Malay archipelago.
Okay.
Serai and pandan only started being used at that stage. Before that, we never had that in Sri Lanka or Jaffna or Ceylon.
I have something that's disturbing me here.
Yeah.
You know, my mother taught me cooking, right?
Yeah.
And she taught me to heat the oil up.
Yes.
Then when the oil heats up, you put your garlic, you know, and then your mustard and your spices.
Yeah.
And then after you put spices, you must put the onion and caramelize the onion.
Yes.
Then you put tomato and everything else.
Why do you caramelize the onion and how do you caramelize the onion? You wait for it forever to be fried like this.
Correct.
Okay, I like to put everything. There are many methods of to the finished product.
Okay.
But I like to actually put everything in and let it fry together.
Okay.
And to caramelize the onions and the tomatoes and all, I add a little bit of salt.
Okay.
Okay? And that helps to make it caramelize faster.
Faster. Okay, so adding salt to the onions and the tomatoes helps to caramelize them faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you can keep stirring.
I'm your sous chef for today.
You can be my sous chef.
Also because
Every day you
I
can
need
be
to
my
do
sous chef.
something. So at what age did you start cooking?
Actually, that's a terrible story because I never knew how to cook.
Really?
No, my mother was an amazing cook, but she never taught me how to cook. And then when I married and went off to Britain in the 60s, there was not even a single hawker center or Chinese restaurant or any restaurant or Indian restaurant for me to survive on.
Exactly.
And as students, you know, I really missed home cook and I really missed my mother's food. So I learned by trial and error, by remembering the smell and the taste of my mother's cooking and slowly managed it. Now the spices were not available there at that time.
And this is in Britain
And
that
this
you're
was
talking
in,
about?
yes, and this was in Oxford, not even in London.
Okay.
So it was very difficult to get the spices. I cried to my father and mother and they sent me a box of mix of all the spices, the typical. My mother makes her own, and she taught me how to make my own as well later.
Okay.
So I bought all that. I used all that to make my own curry, and oh my God, what a difference it made! It saved my life, and it made my husband happy, and it made a lot of Singaporeans and Malaysians who were there very happy because they queued to come to eat, and they were my guinea pigs.
This is coming from a woman who has written a cookbook that has won an award. And she's saying that she only learned how to cook after she got married.
Yes, absolutely.
This is amazing.
Absolutely.
I started cooking at 9 years old. Still haven't tried any book.
It'll come. It'll come.
Slowly, slowly.
There's a story to be written.
I can talk very well. Come right on. I'll help you do this. Okay, now what are we putting in?
Yes, and now I'm going to add in the chicken.
Okay, so this chicken has been deep fried?
Yes. What I've done is with the chicken is I've marinated the chicken with chili, with a little bit of chili, salt, and turmeric.
Okay.
And fried it.
Okay. Chili, salt, turmeric, and
fried it. I lightly fried it because I didn't want it to be, you know, overcooked.
Am I doing it right?
Yes, you're doing it right.
Okay.
So you got to let it get on. Today
I feel like a hawker, you know, like, wow, this is so cool.
Now, for this, I'm now going to add on some more extra chili.
Okay.
Because you need the kick. You can't go without the kick, so that's...
Chili powder.
So I have got different textures of chili that I add.
Okay, what did you just add?
That is very fine chili. And then medium ground.
Okay.
And last of all, I'll add the rough ground.
Ooh.
Which is that.
I can smell the chili in the oil. It's amazing.
Chili in the oil, I like that.
Wow.
Keep stirring.
Yes, boss.
You must not let it stick. So this is, if you look at it, it seems to be oily, but it needs to be oily because it's a fried chicken.
Okay.
So it needs to be oily and it needs to get really nice and brown. There we go.
Okay. All right. I'm enjoying this. This is so exciting. I've never cooked in a wok this big.
Okay, this is a very typical South Indian wok,
Okay.
an iron wok, which is really good for this type
So
of
this
cooking.
is an iron wok. Okay.
So it's very good for this type of cooking,
So these days they use a lot of aluminium and like stainless steel,
which I
right?
don't like. Which I don't
Is
like.
there a difference cooking in an iron wok and a non-iron wok?
No difference, but sometimes like the non-stick ones take a little longer, I feel, and they don't really give you the burn to
I
it.
wish you guys can be here. Oh my god. You know, the smell is amazing. You guys have to really follow the recipe and like try it out at home. Okay, if you need the recipes, they're all in the link above.
Okay,
in the caption.
I'm now going to add the rough ground chili. This is rough ground chili, as you can see. So there are three textures, and you might think, oh my God, that is so hot. You know what she's doing, but it's not. Not going to be hot. Not going to be that hot.
You know, usually when you have chili in oil, right, you start sneezing and, you know, it
Yeah.
kind of gets to you.
It hasn't, has it?
Yeah, no, it hasn't.
And you know,
I'm
all of this
surprised.
is homemade grounds. I never buy any of my chili powder if I can help
Right.
it, unless I'm really unable to wash and dry. So, you know, keep going.
I'm so scared, no? I don't know whether I'm doing it right or not.
Yes, you are. You
I
are.
am, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to have a quick taste of it to see whether the
Taste?
salt is enough?
Okay. I'll let you do the tasting.
No, just
All right.
that. Just tell me whether the salt is enough, because sometimes, is it too hot?
I love it. Oh, the spice is amazing.
What about the salt?
Sorry, guys. I'm just excited. Maybe a little bit more salt.
Okay,
Yum, yum, yum.
okay, that's it. Just let it stir. Is it okay? Do you like it?
Perfect. Love it. Just the way I like it, like spicy and
Okay, what you can
So
also do to this is to add potatoes if you want potatoes in it. But I've not added potatoes today into this. And you need to cut your meat slightly larger than. See, this Jaffna camels, we like to cut our meat very small
Okay.
pieces, but this is slightly larger. So it usually is half of this when we make the dry curries.
Is there a reason why you cut them so small?
Cooks faster, I suppose.
Oh, cooks
and plus,
faster.
depends if you are using country chicken. You know the
kampung chicken.
Kampung chicken.
Yeah.
The farm chicken. It has to cook a little
Longer, right,
Like,
right.
Okay, this is a homemade like garam masala, which I have roasted and ground myself. So you can keep stirring.
Okay, I shall
Okay.
stir it for you.
Use that.
I like how she did it with one hand just now. I'm like, wow. She expert. I cannot. See, I need to hold the pen.
Reduce the fire.
Wow, it smells amazing, guys. And if you just look at that rich color, the oils have like gone through
Yes,
the spices.
you reduce it till, yes.
Wow.
A bit more, and then the final end, you add some of the curry leaves. Would you like to do that?
Okay. So what do I do with the curry leaves?
Take a bunch, take a big lot,
Take a big lot.
yes,
Okay.
and tear it.
Ooh,
You
I
must
know
tear.
This one my mommy taught me.
You must tear.
Yes.
Don't ever cut curry leaves because the oils get wasted.
Like lost. And
Yeah,
wasted,
it's wasted,
right?
and because the metal, you know, works differently with the oils of the lot of the flavor.
Oh my god, guys.
A little bit more. curry leaf is good for you.
Oh, I love curry leaves. Do you
Okay,
know
that's
curry
it.
leaves actually help to make your hair black and thick and strong, and it's also good for your nails and skin. Wow, this is amazing. Okay, and then I mix it.
Yes, keep stirring. I'm just going to do a tasting myself,
Okay.
just to make sure that I know that you.
Hopefully, I told her the right amount of salt. What do you think? Are you someone who takes a lot of salt?
I think needs a little bit more. There's one more ingredient that I put at this stage.
Okay. Which
All
is?
our Jaffna cooking, or all our Indian cooking, has got something called arusuve, 6 flavors.
Correct.
So, sugar, I add a little to give it a nice sweet taste, because I'm not putting coconut milk in this.
Ah.
And this dish, I add sugar rather than coconut milk because I can keep it
Okay.
overnight without getting spoiled.
Oh, okay. So the coconut
Yeah,
milk will spoil fast,
yeah,
right?
unless you know, in the old days, you use coconut milk because you add it all straight away.
Correct.
But we don't do that because it's sort of, here we don't want it to get spoiled. So I add a little bit of sugar because coconut milk has got sugar in it. It's got the natural sweetness
Correct.
in it. So I just add a little bit of sugar too.
And I think when adding the sugar, it just all comes out, right?
Yeah. And the grand finale is the lime juice.
Ooh.
Freshly squeezed lime juice. Okay, give that a stir,
Yes, boss.
and we're done and dusted.
That was pretty fast.
Yes, we don't have to spend too much of. I hate to spend too much of time in the kitchen. I go into the kitchen, chop, 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 cook everything, and out I go.
This is something that, would be probably like comfort food for most people.
Yes, and this goes with hot steaming rice. It's really nice.
Yes.
I think we're done. So let me pass
Okay.
this quali into the kitchen. Coconut.
Okay, we are now live at Mrs. Indra Iswaran's house, and we are going on an epic culinary journey with her based on the Ramayana, and it's very interesting. We just finished cooking. For those of you who are joining us live on our social media channels, if you've missed the first dish, it's okay, you can watch it later. But now we are on to the second dish, and this is called the Sethusamudram prawn Theeyal.
Here.
Okay, I want to ask you, why is it called Theeyal? Because Theeyal in Tamil actually means like chart, like garing,
It's literally that, but it's a very thick fried curry.
Okay.
But you see, in Sri Lanka, the prawns are of different flavors and textures. They're very fresh, and the thing you can afford to do that. Here in Singapore, I find that when I buy prawns, I do not like to overcook it,
Okay.
because you then get it very tough.
Ah.
Because I think they freeze it or whatever process, because these are all, prawns, although they tell you it's fresh, when they catch it in the deep seas, and the thing. Whereas in the Sethusamudram, it's just there,
Okay.
right at your feet.
Yes.
And you can,
Because it's the coastal area,
absolutely
right?
the coastal area, yes, absolutely.
So that was where the epic, Sethusamudram was where the
Yes.
epic battle was fought.
Yes,
In
absolutely.
Ramayana.
Yes, absolutely. That was where the hardest, most difficult battle. And it's interesting to note that that is exactly where, what they call Talemanar. That is where they killed Ravana.
Oh.
It's a place called Talemanar.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And that area in the whole of Jaffna was the emporium of the East centuries ago.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was a huge trade port, which is because all the monsoon, those that followed the monsoon winds that sailed to the east and then to the west, that was their stopping point.
Oh, okay.
They stopped there and they exchanged their cargoes there sometimes, and they bartered there. So the cargo would go eastwards towards our part of the world.
Okay.
It'd go westwards to not only to the Middle East, but it'll also go to the merchants of Venice.
Oh, so interesting.
And that is where things like cinnamon and all was passed by the Moors to the merchants of Venice, because
so
they picked it up from us.
So the spice trade
yes,
happened. Right.
Yeah, so that was an interesting part.
So interesting.
And then, so all the spices that came from this part of the world got taken by the Eastern traders, people like my great-great-grandfather, who would take it to Manal, or Mantotam, as they called it.
Mantotam is like beer garden.
Yeah, but that Mantota was an area where the trade was in Manal, you know, and it was a famous trade port. And that was where they exchanged.
All right, so you just added salt.
Salt. Again, to caramelize.
To caramelize, okay. Guys, if you want the recipes to the dishes that we are cooking today, just find the link in the caption for this video. All right, and then you can try this dishes at home.
If you notice, the whole spices that I use are very similar to what I use in the chicken curry, the lamb curry, and the prawn curry and the crab curry. I will use the same whole spices.
Okay.
I will not use it for fish curry.
Why not?
Fish curry has its own type of spices that I would use. I would use things like fenugreek. Of course, fennel I've used here, and I use mustard in there in the fish curry. Especially when we make a gravy.
So all these spices can be used for like a variety of dishes.
Absolutely. They are not only for savories, but for sweets as well.
Okay. Oh, it's for sweets as well.
Yes, for desserts. Yes. And that is why it was so famous for the cinnamon got fame. It's because it was taken across to the Middle East, and the Middle Easterns used it for their own cooking, and they introduced, and the Persians used it for their own cooking, especially for their desserts. And then it was sold to the merchants of Venice, and from there it was then taken even further westward to the Western countries, where the British and the Europeans then started integrating it into their...
Right.
In fact, they used to fight wars over cinnamon.
So this is also how, like, you know, culture and tradition is like just
completely
spread and shared as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how did then, you know, like our culture come to Singapore?
For Jaffna Tamils, Jaffna Tamils were brought here by, the first lot of them were traders.
Okay.
And they came up and down. Like my great-great-grandfather, in 1790, he was invited to settle in Bagansarai, which is in Malaysia. Malaya.
Okay, Malaya.
Not very far from Penang and Ipoh. And he settled down there. And then the rest of the next tranche of people came in 1890s. From then on, you know, they started coming. So Francis Light did the first settlement. Then the British colonials, after that, brought the next settlement, which was the people who worked for the British colonial government.
So interesting.
Yeah. So now I'm going to add in the prawns. Okay. Now I've already prepped my prawns with a little bit of turmeric, not a little bit, quite a bit of turmeric, a little bit of chili powder, and some salt, and kept it aside. I usually prep this and keep it. You shouldn't keep prawns or fish more than half an hour to 1 hour even, you know, with all the ingredients. Because it becomes, you know, spices have a way of cooking the meat.
Are you serious? Spices have a way of cooking.
You know,
even before they hit the
because
pan.
it's the chemicals disintegrate the meat a little.
Meat. Oh right, that's
so it tends to get, you know, it becomes floury. So I don't allow that to happen.
Okay. So it like the meat kind of turns mushy, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So you don't want that.
Right
yes,
now?
you're doing that right.
Okay. Wow! I'm
going to
cooking
add-
up a storm here.
I'm going to add a little bit more of
Ghee.
so that it fries better. Okay.
I think ghee lends like a very
Lovely.
texture
Yeah.
to any dish that it's added to.
And I'm going to add
Don't be afraid to use ghee, guys.
a bit of rough ground to give it a bit of color.
But anything in moderation, huh?
Yeah.
Is
If you
healthy.
find that you don't want too spicy, you can tone down on the chilies.
Okay.
It's not a problem.
Now prawns don't take very long to cook, right?
No, they don't. But just keep frying. Keep frying.
I feel like, I'm my 9-year-old self again, learning cooking with my mother by my side. So thank you, Indra, for doing this with me.
Oh, you're welcome.
See how she did it with a spoon.
You want to try?
No, I will try it later.
Okay, that's for me. It's enough of salt, but I just put a tad more. And again, because I'm not using any because we need the 6 flavors.
Yeah.
The sweet and the salt and the sour and everything. So I'm going to add a touch of sugar
Okay.
to bring the flavor of the prawn out.
Okay.
So usually I fry this till it really is dry, but I think that we are almost there.
So you've got to
Okay.
let it really
Yeah.
char.
Yeah. So I'm going to now again add the garam masala.
Okay. So you add the masala at the end.
I add it at the end. You must always add the garam masala at the end. This is just a little bit of the fennel. I'd like to add a little bit of extra fennel for the roasted fennel for the prawns.
So exciting. I feel like I'm transported to like Jaffna. I've never been to Jaffna, but through pictures and all, I feel like I'm in, Jaffna, learning how to cook authentic Jaffna cuisine. And this is truly an epic experience.
Do you want to just go for a quick taste?
Okay, I will go for a quick taste.
Hot.
Oh, wow!
Is it good?
Really good.
Okay.
I can taste the sugar
A little bit.
a little bit, but it has got out the flavor.
Yes.
And guys,
That's what's important.
I only took a bit of the gravy and like a bit of onion, and it's so tasty. It's like so much of flavor.
Okay, that's a clean spoon I'm using, and I'm going to add a little bit of coconut cream
Okay, coconut
just
cream.
to give it a little bit of a,
Like a
yeah, just a wee bit.
Okay.
In case, some of the people who cannot tahan spice or cannot stand spice. So let it dry. And normally I go on till it's really dry. That's why I used, your prawns must be also drained. And that's another tip I want to give everyone.
Yes,
When you
everybody
prepare-
listen to this tip.
When you prepare anything that is of Indian origin, Indian food, South Indian food in particular, or Jaffna food, or even Malay food, that's one tip that I like to give,
Okay.
is that I do not like to just buy the meat and just simply wash it in the water. I like to add a bit of salt,
Okay.
and I add turmeric to wash so it doesn't have the smell. You don't get the odors.
Okay.
Right? And then the same with Western food. If I was to cook Western or Chinese, I add salt to the meats or the fish or whatever
Okay.
and wash it well. It takes away that film which gives that odor.
Oh.
And so when you cook it, it's really clean taste.
Guys, listen to the tip. I hope you all noted it down. It's a very simple tip that she has given, but oh so necessary.
Okay, curry leaf now.
Curry leaves again. Okay.
It's a
and
must, curry leaves.
curry
It's-
leaves just...
It's an integral part of Jaffna cooking, or for that matter, South Indian cooking in particular.
Okay,
I
and
think,
so
yeah.
curry leaves, don't cut them. Must tear them.
Tear them.
Okay.
A little bit more. And I think that's done. Okay, I'll take this away.
Okay, done. Give that a stir.
Okay.
And with that, our second dish is done. Sethusamudram prawn Theeyal.
You can get it even drier if you want to, but I've not, because as I said, it's a dry curry. The curries, the prawns here, you shouldn't overcook it.
So it has a little bit of
nice
gravy.
Yeah.
So we just cooked the Sethusamudram prawn Theeyal. Sethusamudram was an area where that epic battle in Ramayana took place. So based on that, it was like a coastal area. So we cooked a seafood dish inspired by that battle. And it was a very simple dish. I hope you took down all the ingredients and the tips and tricks that Indra has mentioned. So now we are on to the third dish. Alright, we have finished the first two dishes of our cooking demo, and now we are on to the third and fourth dish. Come, Mrs. Indra, come. These two chimneys are on the stove.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
and I both know what this is
Definitely not for Santa Claus.
for. Yes, but people watching at home will not know. So let's do a brief explanation for that.
Okay, so this is what we traditionally use, a different style. It's actually this style that we use, and this is handmade. It's with bamboo and wrapped with a cloth, and it's got, when you open, even the chill, is made out of coconut. So everything is very organic. No, coconut shell.
Shell? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so everything's very organic, no metal stuff, nothing, you know, so it's really good. So that's how the old puttus were made. Now, how does the flour go in there?
That's the OG
We
makers.
grind, we pound the flour, we wet rice and pound the flour in the wooden mortar, okay? And then we take that out and we put it into this implement, and this is used to steam the puttu flour. This is made out of palmyra leaf. It's put onto the container here, and then it's steamed, and then it's made into a dough, and lastly, it's put into this press. It's put into this press. Look at the fine holes there.
Yeah,
and it's
all our
more.
viewers. Can you all see the fine holes,
You've got,
guys?
yes, you've got to really put your strength into this to get it really perfectly.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
you take this, you put the dough inside.
And the final result is this, the fine puttus, fine string hoppers, sorry.
Yeah, you get string hoppers. Most commonly, I think
What they call.
in Singapore and
Putu
in
mayam.
Malaysia, they call
Yes.
it putu mayam.
Yes.
Indians will call it the idiyappam.
Idiyappam. So
But in Jaffna,
they also call it idiyappam. But I am making something a little, another dimension of idiyappam, which is very interesting. And this one is the freshly made idiyappam, which you eat the night before, and you have something remaining. You want to re-steam it, so you re-steam it in the puttu maker, and you put the coconut, the layers of coconut and whatever. And those who want it savory, those are non-vegetarian, they add dry prawns or fresh prawns or fish, you know, shark.
Yeah.
They use shark meat, and that is suraputtu they make.
Right.
And with moringa leaves, which is very healthy.
Moringa.
Yes.
You know, it's the trend now, all of you know.
we use coconut, freshly grated coconut in abundance in Jaffna. And then we can have sugar, palm sugar, or brown sugar, or even white sugar if you want to be unhealthy. Yeah, so that's how we have our breakfast. Now that dish has resonated to the Singaporeans in particular for a morning breakfast dish.
Yes, so
They
we
love it.
usually, the Indians eat puttu for breakfast.
Yeah, they eat puttu for breakfast, but this one is called Noor Puttu. Noor Puttu is made with yesterday's idiyappam, which is re-steamed. You can re-steam it in the normal way, but I make it into the puttu kulal, which I'm going to show you what it looks like when it comes out.
Puttu kural. Puttu Kural means, in literal translation, means Puttu flute, which is technically that.
So I have to turn this the other way. And there is a metal stay in there, a little metal piece that keeps the coconut and the flour from dropping into the water. And you just push it.
Woohoo! Look
And
at
that's the first one, and that's the second one, and that's the third one, and that's the fourth one. Right?
Wow.
So that's how it's done. Let me take the, look for the, okay, and put it back in.
Okay. It's hot,
sorry.
hot.
And it's back in. Okay, and I put it there.
Okay.
Ready to go for the next. So
Round.
this is roughly what it is about. And to make this, so I'm going to take that. I'm going to put some coconut first, grated coconut, freshly grated coconut.
So usually, we will eat these string hoppers for either dinner or breakfast. So what we are doing is we are making use of the leftovers from last night's dinner and remaking it to a new dish for reinventing it basically as a new dish for breakfast.
So each one that we put in, we add in, sorry, may I just...
Okay, so you put in each puttu.
Each idiyappam.
Each idiyappam, correct.
Then you add in more.
A layer. So it's
Yeah.
like a layer, like this is like Indian kueh lapis, you know. It's like a layer of idiyappam, then a layer of coconut.
Yeah.
Then you layer.
Then another thingy of, okay, it's not coming apart, but let me just break it up so that it goes in.
Okay.
Because it needs to be broken up anyway. So you just add it in. It's a really delicious dish.
Ooh, I can't wait to taste it. So what can you usually eat this with?
Okay, you can have it with your palm sugar, which is how a lot of Singaporeans like to eat it.
I think Singaporeans like the orange sugar.
Sugar,
a lot.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then some like with brown sugar as
Yes,
well.
but we normally have it with sodi or plain coconut milk in the morning.
Sodi
or
is like-
curry, fish curry.
So this is like our lemak here, right? Like in the Malay dish, it would be like a lemak. So in the Indians make it, it's like sodi. And then you can eat it with coconut milk.
Coconut milk, coconut milk gravy, or plain coconut milk with sugar,
Okay.
or and also fish curry, mutton curry. And in Sri Lanka, strangely enough, they eat curry even for breakfast. You know,
Oh, yes.
it's like Asians. You know, Asians like to eat rice for breakfast.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
or rice-based
Like
products.
nasi lemak.
And then you just place it onto the hot steaming pot, right? And you let it steam. So it
How long does
steams,
this take?
it steams, and you just watch it and let the steam come out that way, and you know it's done, right? There are little holes on the top, and the steam will come out that way.
So roughly how long does it take to steam?
I mean, till the steam comes out. It depends on your heat.
Oh, so it's ready once the steam
comes out,
Oh,
yes.
that's really fast.
Yeah, and give it another 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So how did idiyappam end up in Singapore then?
Okay, idiyappam, you must remember that there was, the British brought in a lot of Jaffna Tamils and Keralites. Now this is very much like appam. See, watch the steam.
Wow, that's fast.
It's puffing away. So a lot of Keralites and Jaffna Tamils were brought by the British colonials to this part of the world to work in the administrative service, in the railways and all that. And so idiyappam most likely would have come with them.
Travelled with
like
them.
appam, like palappam and stuff like that.
Okay.
They're very typical of that region because we have a lot of cross influence of the Kerala cooking and the Jaffna cooking have a lot of cross influence, except that we prepare some of our dishes a little bit differently from we have more chili in our dish.
Okay, so otherwise it's more or less similar.
Yes,
So there's like a shared tradition,
Yes.
shared heritage kind of thing.
And the Sinhalese in Sri Lanka, they also have this. They have also taken to this as a morning breakfast dish, and they serve it with fish curry, ambul Theeyal, as as they call it, which is very interesting. And they have also brought that to this part of the world.
It's very similar to Kerala as well.
Very similar, very similar.
Okay, so this is ready now?
Yes, ready. So all you have to do is switch off and
serve it.
Okay, so this one is already done. So it's done the same way. So you just
take it out. And then you
turn
push
it
through.
And push through.
So nice, the clumps.
Yeah.
When they come out.
And done and dusted.
Puttu.
Yeah, that's done.
Basically rice in a different form. Correct?
Yeah, it's basically rice in a different form. As we are rice eating nation, that's our main staple. We don't eat wheat. So hence rice in all forms is cooked by us.
All right, so what is the next dish then?
Okay, the last and final dish is the mango chambal.
Chambal?
I call it chambal because I'm from Jaffna, so it's chambal.
Chambal.
And what is a chambal? It's the same as sambal, which the Malays use and the Peranakans use. And it's the same as sambal, which the Sri Lankan Sinhalese call it sambal. And I think that the British have also caught on to the sambals.
Sambals, is it?
Sambals.
Sambals.
So sambal, sambal, whatever, something.
Same to same. It is the same thing. Sambal is chambal.
Yes.
It is sambal.
So I'm going to now show you that.
Okay.
Would you take that?
This?
Yeah. Pounder. Okay, usually this is done on a...
Guys, this is heavy. Huh?
Oh, goodness me.
What's she getting like light only? Indra, this is, I just struggled to carry it from there to here and you just took it from me and you just put it here.
That's just a short distance, darling.
Okay, we are now at the final dish, the final part of the race of this. Oh my god, see, I'm celebrating so much, right? I can't wait, no? I want to taste all the dishes. So, we are making the chambal now, right? It's called the mango chambal.
Yes.
How are we going to do this?
Okay, the mango chambal is very typical of Jaffna because we have the most awesome mangoes in Jaffna.
Ooh.
The karta kolban and all those sort of things, really delicious dishes, mangoes. And we use karta kolumban.
Karta kolumban.
Yes.
That's the name of the mango.
Name of the mango. Okay. It's like the apple mangoes or the alfonsos or that sort of thing. And karta kolumban is very typical of the Jaffna mangoes.
Okay.
However, when we cook chambals, we use the green mangoes, right? Okay. So the green mangoes, I will first add green chili, no red chili, and ginger.
Okay.
Okay. Add that into the. Normally, I wouldn't be using one of these pounders. Our traditional is to use the ammi.
The stone, right?
The stone grinder,
stone
yes.
With the roller.
Yes, which I think they can take when
also,
they are in the garden.
normally, in everybody's houses, they won't use the mortar and pestle this big.
We do have.
Not this big. We all have, but not this big.
Okay, if I'm going to make chambals, I need a larger one because I don't want half of it to be
spilling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what is important is when you are processing chambals, when you're pounding chili, what makes it disintegrate faster is a little bit of salt.
Salt, oh.
So like caramelizing in the thing.
So it brings
you add
out the flavors, at the same time breaks down the ingredients. Ooh, interesting.
So would you like to do the pounding?
Oh, sure. Very exciting. Okay, then I have to exchange positions with you.
Absolutely.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, go.
Okay. And once the chili and the ginger break down, then you add the mango in next.
Okay.
Okay. I grate my mango.
So,
or you can grate it fine, or you can grate it into this sort of gratings, longer gratings.
So it's like julienne.
Juliennes,
the
yes.
chefs would say she's julienne.
Fine juliennes, but you know why I like this? Is because there are few little bits that are always hanging around in the...
Right.
Yeah, so you can pound that. Yeah, and once you get that into a rough pulp.
Rough pulp. Wow, this is heavy, guys.
Then you add...
Now I know why in those days all our mothers and grandmothers all, right, they all had very strong arms and they were very healthy and they had nice svelte bodies because they all lifted all these heavy stones
and pounded everything.
And pounded everything by hand.
And this is grated coconut, freshly grated coconut,
okay,
which you add last of all.
All right.
Okay. And then you pound that. Okay.
Oh, I've got a little mango.
It's a mango. Okay, you pound that. And the very final ingredient that goes into that, once it's all pounded, is the lime juice.
Wow, arms pain.
Is it?
Because I born into the generation, everything is
Machine.
at the touch of a button.
No, I don't touch the button unless I really need it.
Okay.
Okay, so I like to use my traditional, because the taste is also different when you use the wooden mortars or the...
so this is supposed to
the
taste...
stone mortars, you know, because the heat from that is much more acceptable to making such dish, whereas the electrical blenders and grinders, the heat is too much. It cooks. So these type of things shouldn't be cooked into that. Even flour, when you're making appams and things and thosai, you must be very careful that you do not allow the thing to be overheated because your batter will be cooked.
Guys, these are very valuable tips. So it means that when you put the spices or whatever you are doing into the blender, the heat from the kinetic energy of the blades will kind of cook heat up the thing.
And the motor, you know, heats up and it's not good. Okay. You know, it cooks the batter or it cooks this. And this one you want to eat it fresh and raw. You know, there is a taste to it.
So,
now it's done.
Is this supposed to taste sour?
Yes, and that's why you choose green mangoes. Okay, so I think you're more or less done.
Wow, this is...
And the heavy mortar is good for this.
Heavy, good. You know, the Puranakans believe, right, when you know the brides, when the groom's family,
they choose the bride. Yes.
Yeah, they choose the bride based on how they
pound
and
how they squeeze the coconut milk.
Okay.
So like that, we too have a similarity.
Am I doing it well?
Absolutely. I'll definitely find you a bridegroom.
Am I dainty enough? Oh, you'll find me a bridegroom. So single. So I'm showing off all my remote skills, all you eligible men out there. Now you know. Okay, is this good?
That's good enough, my dear.
Fabulous. Yeah. Okay, guys, take a look. All right, this is how it looks. Yeah.
And you taste after that for salt and lime juice. And if that's not enough, you just add a little bit more.
So add to preference.
Yes, add to preference. Because some people like it saltier and more sour and tangy. I like it just so.
Okay.
Right? So that's it. That's done.
Perfect. So this is not like your traditional, like, you know, red sambal.
No, this is a green.
This is chambal. Chambal.
Chambal.
Chambal. Okay, chambal.
Chambal. C-H-A-M-B-A-L.
Chambal.
That is the Jaffna way of saying.
Okay, Indra, I cannot wait any longer. I was trying to hold in my taste buds and my salivating mouth, but cannot. I need to taste all the 4 dishes, one shot that we had now.
4 dishes?
Yeah.
There's no 4 dishes here. I have prepared a feast for you. You can't just stick to 4 dishes, Sajni.
Are you kidding?
You can't come to my home, a Jaffna home, and just have 4 dishes. As Singaporean as well, we love to entertain properly. So there you go. You have much more than 4, and there's a surprise waiting for you out there.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go now. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, guys, from the widest smile that you can see on my face, you know that I can't wait to dig into this. This is an amazing feast. Thank you so much, Indra, for
You're
having
welcome,
us over
Sajini.
and for this lovely food demonstration. But before I start eating, is there anything that I need to start with?
Yes, there is a tradition that we have, as all, it's a tradition that's all over. We have to have a sweet first before we touch anything else.
yes.
So the sweet that is very typical Jaffna is something that I made called Rasavali Klanga,
Rasavali Kalangu is actually
purple yam.
Purple yam, okay.
And this is something that I would love you to try.
And
this
there's sago in it as well?
Yes, and this is very much a sought after dish in Jaffna.
In Jaffna. So traditionally the Indians believe
Yes.
that every meal should start with a sweet.
Sweet.
So bon appetit to me.
And I'm giving you one that is typically Jaffna, and it's made with palm sugar and coconut.
It's not too sweet
No.
and it's just nice. Okay. I might just finish all of that up and then I might not have enough space for all of these.
So you must go for the...
This is amazing. Now, what should I try next?
Well, we made the chicken, the special chicken Porial
Yes.
with the sandalwood. Why don't you go for that?
Okay. That's it. Alright guys, I'm just going to go on eating. Mrs. Indra, thank you so much once again for having us all over and sharing with us your tips and tricks and sharing with us your tradition of authentic Jaffna cuisine. Thank you so much.
I'm proud of my heritage, and I'm so happy to have all of you here.
Yes. Alright guys, thank you so much and I'll catch you soon.